بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويل للمطففين الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون ألا يظن أولئك أنهم مبعوثون ليوم عظيم يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين كلا إن كتاب الفجار لفي سجين وما أدراك ما سجين كتاب مرقوم ويل يومئذ للمكذبين الذين يكذبون بيوم الدين وما يكذب به إلا كل معتد أثيم إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون كلا إنهم عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون ثم إنهم لصالو الجحيم ثم يقال هذا الذي كنتم به تكذبون كلا إن كتاب الأبرار لفي عليين وما أدراك ما عليون كتاب مرقوم يشهده المقربون إن الأبرار لفي نعيم على الأرائك ينظرون تعرف في وجوههم نضرة النعيم يسقون من رحيق مختوم ختامه مسك وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون ومزاجه من تسنيم عينا يشرب بها المقربون إن الذين أجرموا كانوا من الذين آمنوا يضحكون وإذا مروا بهم يتغامزون وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين وإذا رأوهم قالوا إن هؤلاء لضالون وما أرسلوا عليهم حافظين فاليوم الذين آمنوا من الكفار يضحكون على الأرائك ينظرون هل ثوب الكفار ما كانوا يفعلون
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. Today inshallah we are going to concentrate on Surah Al-Mutaffifin. This is chapter 83. This has got 36 ayah and only one ruku. Just to give a bit of background, this is to do with, alhamdulillah, we have all the people here, they have read this surah and they know the translation also. This is dealing with mainly with the people who are doing trade. And if somebody says, oh, I know this surah and the translation, this is nothing to do with me, because this is to do with people who are doing trading. So I think this is more interesting and relevant to those people who are in trade. But this is a misconception, because anything revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this holy book is for each and every person and for all the times. Not for a limited period of the Quraysh, but it is for till the last day of this world. This book has got guidance. When Islam came, this was to take away the illnesses of the society, spiritual and physical. One thing is to do with the spirit is aqidah, the beliefs. So clarify the beliefs that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who has got the power to be obeyed, and when we die we are going to be returned and we have to stand in front of Him to explain what we have done in this world. The second thing is the physical. One is spiritual, the second is physical. Physical means all the laws governing, the social laws, judicial laws, economical laws, how we behave as a family, individual, with relationships, with friends, with society, the place of work, everything is guided in this book. So we have to concentrate on the spiritual aspect, which is aqidah and belief. The second thing, the physical, the spiritual is there, and the physical is how we should lead the life. So when this came, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam straight away went and started preaching about the tawheed and aqidah. But at the same time, this surah was revealed. This is to do with how we lead our physical life in the society, how it should behave. This surah is relating to somebody who was doing trade and tried to do frauding, cheating people in the trade. Yeah. So if we limit just only for the trade, then we are limiting and we are making everything very narrow. But here it is, as I always say, that the rights are of three types: huququllah, huququl ibad, and huququl nafs. One is the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on you, and there is the rights of the other creation on you, and there is the right of your own body or your own nafs on you. So you have to make sure that you are fulfilling all these rights. As far as this is concerned, when this surah was revealed, it is in the background they say that there was a person from Abu Jahina, and the olden days the scales were of, with a single bar with two pens hanging around. So when you want to buy or sell, you have to put the weight on one side and the item you are selling or buying on the other hand. But this person had two types. One, when he wants to buy something from others so that he can deceive, because the pans were such a way that one pan had a second pan attached to it, which nobody realizes, and then he used to put the weight on one side. So he is deceiving while he is buying something. And when he wants to sell, he had a second type of pan, measuring scale, where it was for him to sell less goods, but that will show equal to what the weight is. So this was a deception in buying and selling. So this surah explain all these things. The beginning itself saying that, and Mutaffifin, Tafseer is in Arabic is to do with very, very simple thing. So deception is not a major deception for hundreds and thousands, but it is for few pennies. The deception is only for few pennies. Because if you are selling something in a very small quantity, you are not deceiving them for a major amount, but it will be for a small amount. And they think that if we continue like this, in a couple of days or months and years, at the end, this is so much we are going to get the benefit of deception. But this is a misconception. We are all fooled by this sort of thought, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who has got the balance of everything. You cannot deceive people and then be happy. It is just apparent, looks like that you are going to deceive and you are going to be better off. No, but this is only for a short while. At the end, the results are going to be very, very difficult and then very difficult to understand. So this point is for deception. Now, if we limit this deception only for trade purposes, then we are not. This is not. This is, you think that you have to have justice in you. When you are buying something from others, make sure you are not deceiving. When you are selling for somebody, you are not doing deception in that one. So both ways, taking and giving. So it has to be a balance. Now at the same time, how it affects in our life. Okay, we have rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have rights of human beings and creations, and we have right of our own self. So you have to have a balance. What if you want something to take from others, see how it feels you if you're on the other side. Would you like to be deceived? Or would you like somebody to deceive you? So you have to have a balance. Now, one thing is in Abdullah bin Umar, Abdullah bin Abbas, this is in Muwatta, that Umar bin Khattab was sitting and somebody prayed the Salah very quickly, doing the Sujda very quick and the Ruku very quick and finished the Salah quickly. Then he called him, he said that you have done Tafseer with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That what you are supposed to do, you have cut back something from your Salah, your Ruku and Sujud. So this is Tafseer as far as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rights are concerned. So this is something which we have to realize, that it is not limited just to this one, but for everything else. If with your relations, your friends, your family and your colleagues, so it not only just limited to trade, but anything else you're doing. You don't want to be deceived and you don't want to deceive other people. So this is a very, very important point for us to remember. Now in this surah, if you go along, as usual, I'm not going to recite the whole surah and give the translation, but I would like you to go back home and recite the surah and also go through the translation. I'm just going to give you a bit of gist from this surah. This surah deals with not only from the trade point, this I mentioned about the first 4 ayahs or so, but this surah deals with a couple of more other things. One is that when the guidance comes, the results can be two-way. Either you accept the guidance or you reject it. If you accept, you make a mistake and you are told that you have made a mistake, you accept it and repent it, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides you. But if you make a mistake and you try to say that no, what I have done is right, and if you go at the beginning, the creation of Adam alayhi salam, what happened? When Adam alayhi salam and Iblis was there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked everybody on the earth to do prostration. Iblis did not do. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked, why you disobeyed me? Then instead of accepting that it was a mistake that he disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, no, I have done something right. And I am completely right in what I have done, because then he started giving reason why he disobeyed. So once you disobey and you try to make a point that what you have done is right, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let you go on your own way. So the guidance is stopped from them. Similarly, there is a hadith where a person who does a sin and then a dot is placed on the heart of that person, black dot. If he repents and asks forgiveness, that dot is washed out. But if the person did not accept that this is a sin and what he has done is wrong, then when he sins again, another dot comes. And if he keeps on disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time, these dots come and come and come and join together so that the whole heart becomes dark. So that stops any guidance and nur and light coming to that person. This is the hadith experience. So that's why as soon as you realize you have done a mistake, repent so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clears that black spot from your heart and then gives you guidance. This is what it says in Surah Yasin. Then once you disobey, this blocks you from the receiving of guidance from the front, from the back, from the sides. So this is a very, very important message for us to remember. As soon as we make a mistake, accept it is a mistake and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. Rasulullah when he used to wake up for the tahajjud salah, this is a hadith in Nisa'i, one of the books of hadith, that he used, as soon as he gets up to bed from the sleep for tahajjud prayer, he used to say, Allahu Akbar 10 times, Alhamdulillah 10 times, Subhanallah 10 times, and Astaghfirullah 10 times. Then he used to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma aghfirli, wahdini, warzuqni, wa'afini. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forgive, give rahmah on me, and give guidance to me, give risk to me, and give afini, means safety to me, prevent me from all sorts of evils coming and attacking. So this is, he did not need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all these things. What it is so that we know and we should practice, because we are in need of maghfirah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and safety from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because as far as Rasulullah was concerned, everything was given to him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made everything easy for him. But it is for us. We are in need. So whatever he said, it is for us to follow and make sure that we do all these things. Now, the other thing is, in this discussion is two things, Ilim and Sijil. Two things are mentioned in this book, in this surah. What is Sijil and what is Ilim? I'm just going to give you. When a person dies, the angels comes to take the soul. The good person and the bad person, the mu'min and the kafir. Everybody's soul are taken. When I'm going to tell you first what happens to the kafir's soul, this is taken away, and the soul which is taken, it is a very, 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 very painful condition for that soul to take away from the body, and that is wrapped up in a very rotten cloth, very bad smelling cloth, and that row is taken by the angels to the first sky, and from there the information is given that the soul has been taken. This is the news given to the angels above, and also to give information. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything what is happening, but it is the duties of the angels is to do this thing and give information. Once this is informed, and then the question the angels ask, whose soul is this? And the details are given, and they check, because in the books it is written what type of this person was that, what the activities they did, and what at the end of their lifetime. So they check it and say, okay, this is the soul of so-and-so, and the records show that this person belongs to this group, and he belongs to the group of Sijil. Sijil is the Arabic word for prison. So this person belongs to the register of Sijil. Take the soul back into and place it in Sijil. So Sijil, Abdullah bin Abbas says that it is a place which is underneath the seventh earth. So this is the lowest part, and that is kept in like a prison area. The soul is kept there. People say that if the soul is there, then what happens to the grave? But the explanation is that we are limiting our knowledge by what we are seeing in this world, but when we die, the things are completely different. There is no restriction of space and place, although the soul is there in Sijin, but that is connected to the grave. So whatever is happening, the punishment, the questions, whatever is dealing is from Sijin and the grave together. They are both going together. Now compared to the persons, a momin's, a good person's soul, and the angels come and they welcome that person, and the soul is taken in a very, very simplest and easiest manner from this body of this person and wrapped up in a beautiful silk with perfumes in it, and that's taken to the heaven. And then the questions are asked, whose soul is this? The reply is given, this soul belongs to this person, and so on. So the registrar is checked and they say, oh, this belongs to a better register which is called Illiyin, the highest place. Okay, so they say that, okay, take this bag and place it in Illiyin. And the Illiyin is something which is very, very close to the Arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is transferred into there, but from there is a connection to the grave as well. The ruh is there in the Illiyin, but also there's connection is there in the grave. So all the beautiful things are happening. The grave is open, widest as the whole of the world is wide, and also the opening is there of a window into the Jannah, has shown that this is the place you are going to move, so on and so forth. And at the same time, the good news is given to the soul of this person. So they say that when the Qiyamah comes, you can imagine the souls of the Mu'min who have seen all these things. They are all in a tranquility. They are under the shade of the Arsh. They are happy and pleased that the good news are going to be given to them. And then they say that the period of Qiyamah, which is explained, and the time of questioning which is placed, it says that a day is going to be 50,000, 100,000 years, and so on and so forth. But this is for the people who have done bad deeds or so. But as far as the moments is concerned, the Yawm al-Qiyamah, they said, it is going to look like a period between the time of Asr and Maghrib prayers. Can you imagine? It will look like very short, and the person's souls will be happy that they are going to enter the paradise very soon. So these are the good news about Illiyin. And I said about Sijin and Illiyin, these are the differences. Now this surah also discusses about the people who have not accepted the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make fun of the Muslims. We can imagine nowadays even what is happening in the political life with Islam and Muslim. So you can imagine compared to this was very, very high in the time of the Makkah and Quraysh. They used to make fun of the Muslims. Okay, they used to make fun, and then they used to see these Muslims around, and then they used to laugh over them, saying that, oh, these are the people who thinks they are going to be very high and so on and so forth. Look at their condition, how pitiful their condition is. So they used to make jokes about them, they used to laugh at them, and sometimes when they are walking together, all those groups, they used to make some moments of their eyes to show how they are treating these people, how they are making fun of them with their eye, the winking of their eyes, saying that, look, these are the people. And they used to say, they used to even tell them how foolish you are, that you are living the pleasures of this life, whatever you can do, just to think that there is going to be a day after you die and then you are going to be asked questions and there is a life after death. They used to make fun. And when they go back home, they used to sit together and then talk and laugh about what happened and how they treated the Muslims. This is all mentioned in this surah. So that's why I want you to, when you go back, just have the translation and see what these things are. Allah, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us guidance. I just want to mention another hadith to do with this surah, which is mentioned in Qurtubi, that there are 5 things. If you do 5 things, there are 5 punishments of doing these bad things. One is that if you break your covenants and promises which you make with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes your enemy superior to you. We say that this, our enemies, we should be over them, but now the enemy has come and become superior to us, and they are going to control us. So because we have broken our covenant and promises with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second thing is, when you leave Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's orders, when you start disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes poverty and dependency on you. Poverty means things that, oh, we are not going to have money. No, there might be money, but you are dependent. You cannot use your money. You cannot use your influence. You cannot use your abilities because you are restricted and you are dependent to get permission from somebody else. The second thing is the sexual indecency. If that prevails, then unknown illnesses are given from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The people started doing all the gays and so on and so forth, and there one illness which is called AIDS, which was not there before, suddenly comes. So there are so many things happening. There are, like Ebola virus is there. There is no treatment for it. So we think that, okay, these things can happen, but if you start doing sexual indecency and disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are new and new illnesses are going to come which will have no treatment. The people are going to die. Number 4 is, if you start cheating in business, which is still in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, if you cheat in business, then drought and food shortage occurs. Okay? And the 5th one is, if you start paying zakat, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stops rain. These things are mentioned, but the explanations are different for us to understand. Because if we think, oh, if the rain stops, means if you are not giving zakat, they stop. No. Rain means nema, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings coming upon you is stopped. Then when you start cheating, the drought and shortage of food occurs. We think, okay, there's no shortage of food. But if you look what it means, the risk, if that is stopped, the risk is in front of you. There are certain people suffering from illnesses. They cannot swallow solid food. And there are certain conditions where the food or the medications and everything is given by tubes, by drips. Another condition is that the food is there, but you have to follow some diet. You see the food, but you cannot eat because it's going to cause harm to you. There are certain illnesses where you cannot have fried food, you cannot have sweets, you can have this and that. The food is there in front of you. You go to the party, but you realize that I cannot. There are some foods that cause some side effects on you. Milk allergy is there, wheat allergy is there. So the food is there, but you know that if you eat that food, that's going to cause some problem to you. So this is the explanation we have to understand. Where it says restriction of risk, that doesn't mean that there won't be any food. No, there will be food, but you won't be able to enjoy and entertain with you. So pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, guide us. Amen. And make us from the people of Illiyin. Because in Surah Al-Waqi'ah we say that the groups are divided into 3, the right and the people of the right hand, the people of the left hand, and the people who are in front. But this is to divide the groups because of the way they spend their life in this world. But finally, there are only 2 places these people can be transferred to. One is heaven, one is hell. And this distinction is there. The people of Sijin, they are going to enter the hellfire, and people of Illiyin are going to enter the paradise. So pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make us one of the people who are going to be from Illiyin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this life easy for us to follow the commandments given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and follow on the footsteps of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to make this life easy for us. Give us guidance, give us maghfirah, give us risk, and give us safety. So always remember to say, Allahumma hdini, Allahumma maghfirli, warhamni, wahdini, وَرَزُقْنِي وَالْعَافِنِي. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
आपने ये 5 चीज़ों में डॉक्टर साहब, you said first thing is breaking the promise with Adha. What is that? Can you
Covenant means breaking the promise with what we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is very, very relevant to the Bani Israel. Bani Israel made so many covenants with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you give us safety, we are going to do this and this and this. And once the safety was given from Pharaoh, when they were free, they started breaking all the rules. And even not only the people, but the ulama also, the Torah was given, the rules and regulations were given, but they started altering them, taking away the ayah from the Torah and enter them whatever pleases to them. The kings used to say that this is very hard, this law to be followed, can you do something? And this is so many gold coins are given to you. And the book was there, so they erased those ayah of Torah which the king did not like and entered the one to please the king. وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. That's why in Surah Al-Baqarah it says, don't sell our ayah for a mere small profit of this world. So this is, they broke the covenants and promises which they made with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As far as we are concerned also, we make promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have made a covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are not going to worship anybody except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, as far as the prayers are concerned, we are praying only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not anybody else. But as far as the shirk is concerned, we are making some sort of shirk from time to time which we are not aware. Even thinking, asking for somebody help, in your heart you should remember that that person has got nothing, no power. It's only something in between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you. Finally, power is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you ask somebody to give water, that is not shirk. Because the main water and the thirst, quenching of the thirst is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you are asking for somebody to give the water to you. So, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Every time you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, you are saying, I worship you and you alone. And I ask for help from you and you alone. Okay? So, every time you think that this is something which you need, then you can ask others to help. But at the end of your mind, it should be that it's only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is the one. But if you start thinking that all the good or bad is from this person, or this government, or this superpower, and so on and so forth, then you are making a sort of shirk. This is nothing. These are the things in between, but the ultimate thing is at the hands and the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
इसका खुलासा ये है कि हमारे बच्चों के तराजू होते थे तो डंडी मारने वाले मशहूर थे.
That's what the whole thing is that.
अच्छा वो उंगली से करते थे डंडी मारते. यहाँ
No, but I was told that the weighing scale is there, but whatever you weigh, it is like 1 kilo, 2 kilo, 3 kilo, 5 kilos. They were different for buying and selling. If you put the same thing, 1 kilo weighing part, if you put that one and another 1 kilo, if you weigh it, they are different.
Yes.
So you know, when we are buying, you have to put this one to buy, and then when you are selling, you have to use this one to sell. So this is the deception. The deception is not only in scales, but it's in each and everything. Not only in trade, but suppose if I give you an example, if you employ a person, you are taking so many hours of work from that person, but when the time comes for payment, then you try to say, okay, you haven't completed this hour and you try to pay less. Same thing with the employee. That person is given so that you have to work for so many hours, this is going to be paid. But suppose if you have to work from 9 to 5 and 4 o'clock you see that person is gone, so nothing else is there, no more customers coming, so on and so forth, just half an hour before you lock and go. So you have cut down half an hour from what you're supposed to do. So this is also counts as tatfif, what you're supposed to do and you're cutting from there. This is very in details. If you look in the books of Tafseer, they have given this explanation that don't limit it only for the trade point of view, buying and selling. No, this is dealing of each and everything of your life. That's why I gave example of 3 rights. The rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to cut the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, also how you should pray, how should you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you have to pay the zakat, you have to pay it full, not to cut points. So it's trying to say that, okay, this is not part of the zakat and so on and so forth. And also, huquq al-ibad, if somebody is entitled to this, you have to pay. Especially this happens when there is, somebody dies and you have got the inheritance. You try to cut corners so that who is entitled should not get it. Okay? And so on and so forth, and you try to get the maximum amount and cut corners so that this comes under tatfif. Okay? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us, and as far as even our nafs, we should make sure that we are giving the rights of our nafs. The nafs has to sleep certain time, have food, have rest, to do all sorts of things. So make a balance even for your own soul. Because remember I told you about the Abdullah bin Amr bin Nasir and the 3 people there. They said that we are going to fast every day, we are going to not sleep, we pray all night. And then one person said, I'm not going to marry because marriage causes so many rights, and so let me concentrate in the ibadah only. But no, then it came that your nafs has got your right. You have to sleep, you have to eat. You cannot fast every day. You know, the maximum you can fast is Swami Dawoodi, alternate days fasting. So you have to look after, give the rights to your own nafs, right to all the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and give the rights what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserves. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika.